Welcome to Lesson 10 in our interactive notes, where we're going to do our subtraction with regrouping. So we're going to do the regrouping, but we're going to subtract this time also. And that's on pages 25 and 26. So let's turn to pages 25. All right. Subtraction with regrouping. Our content objective is 4 for 4th grade, MBT, numbers base 10, B4. There's a little asterisk next to it because this is our fluency standard. This is a very important standard for this year. I can subtract large numbers fluently. For 4th grade, OA.A.3, I can determine how reasonable my answers are by using estimation. So we're going to be doing our subtraction, and we're going to use our estimation to see if the answer is reasonable. Language objective. I can use place value to regroup for subtraction. Social objective. I can work with others to create a model to prove how to regroup and subtract. We only have one vocabulary word, fluently, which I used earlier. This is our fluency standard. Fluently, well, what does that mean? To complete something quickly and efficiently. So you should be able to do subtraction with regrouping without too much effort. I can fluently multiply any number by 10. You should be able to do it quickly, efficiently, with no problem. Here we have a reminder. Remember, it is important to always line up your numbers correctly. That means that we line up from the ones, always. Okay, if we don't line it up correctly, we're not going to get the right result. So it's very, very important we line up from the ones. All right, so here we're going to start out with our estimating. Estimate the difference between 89,123 and 63,741. Well, when I estimate, my first step is to round. Then my next step is to, in this case, difference. We're finding the difference between the numbers. I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to start from my largest place because it's the same on both, because you can either do the largest place or the same place. In this case, it's the same thing. So here, this is between, we're going to look at 80,000 as our lower 10,000, 90,000 as our upper 10,000. Our midpoint, our halfway in between, the top of that hill, is 85,000, because 5,000 is half of 10,000. So that's the halfway between those 10,000s. Our number, 89,123, would be somewhere, probably a little closer, but somewhere on this side. So it is closer to 90,000. So first we have to round. So here we go from 60,000 to our next 10,000, which is 70,000. Half of 10,000 is 5,000, so halfway in between is 65,000. And then over here is where the 63,741 would be. Somewhere over here, it's between 60,000 and 65,000. So that means it's closer to 60,000. All right, now that we've rounded, now we can subtract. Well, the number that goes on top would be this first one named, so it's now been rounded to 90, so 90,000 is our minuend, and then our subtrahend would be 60,000. We line up from the ones. Commas line up. Remember, estimation should make nice, easy numbers to do the operation. So normally you wouldn't even need to show your work, but for your notes we need to. You should be able to subtract 60,000 from 90,000 and know that it is 30,000 because we get 0, 0, 0, comma, 0. 9 take away 6 is 3. Okay, so that is our estimate for these two numbers. Now for this one, we're going to estimate the difference again. So estimating, we round the numbers either to the largest place or the same place. This time I'm going to do the same place since they don't have the same largest place. And then we do the operation. So here we're going between 120,000. The next 10,000 is 130,000. Half of 10,000 is 5,000, so halfway in between is 125,000. And then up here we have 128,563. It is closer to 130,000. Okay, and then here we have 50,000 as our lower 10,000, 60,000 as our upper 10,000, halfway in between. Half of 10,000 is 5,000, so we get 55,000. And 58,495 would be between 55,000 and 60,000, so it's closer to 60,000. Now that we have our rounded numbers, we can do the operation. That first number in its rounded form is going to be my minuend, and then the other number is going to be my subtrahend, but we need to make sure that we line it from the ones every time. And your commas should line up also. So this should be able to be mentally done. It should be easy to subtract these in your head. It's just a lot of zeros at the end. But for our notes, we need to get them written down. So we get 0, 0, 0, comma, 0. And then this is just 13 take away 6. 13 take away 6, or 6 plus 7 equals 13. So 130,000 take away 60,000 is 70,000. So now that I have my estimates, I'm going to find my exact difference. And then I'm going to look back at my estimates and see if my answer is reasonable or not. So here we're finding the difference. The difference. I'm going to put down my 89,123. That's my minuend, and then my subtrahend I'm going to put underneath. I line up from the ones. So 1, 4, 7, comma, 3, 6. Okay, now I'm going to use my rhymes to help me. I have more on top, no need to stop. So they're going to help me know when to regroup. I have more on the floor, go next door, regroup 10 more. Inside 100 are 10 tens. So I'm going to give those 10 tens over to the 2. 10 plus 2 is 12. Instead of having 120, I'm saying I have 12 tens. Well, since I moved that 100 over into the tens place as 10 tens, I now have 0 here. Okay, more on the floor. Go next door. Regroup 10 more. Well, there are 10 hundreds in 1,000. So I'm going to take one of those thousands, put it in the hundreds, but it's 10 hundreds there. Since I took one of my thousands, I'm left with 8 thousandths. So 9, 8. More on top, no need to stop. More on top, no need to stop. Once our regrouping is all complete, now we can subtract. 3 take away 1 is 2. 12 take away 4. Well, you can always count up. 4 plus what equals 12? You can count back from 12. But 12 take away 4 is 8. 10 take away 7, or what plus 7 will get you to 10. 3 plus 7 will get you to 10. 8 take away 3 is 5. 8 take away 6 is 2. Okay, and we have another saying having to do with the comma. We put the comma on the paper, not on the computer. When you're typing things in the computer, sometimes it won't allow you to put a comma, so you don't worry about it. Sometimes putting in the comma, even if it's in the correct place, the computer will read it as a wrong answer because it doesn't know it with a comma, so we just don't put the comma on the computer. But you must have it on the paper. So comma on the paper, not on the computer. So we have 25,382. Let's compare that to our estimate of 30,000. Is that pretty close to 30,000? Yeah, it's about 4,000 off, but it's pretty close, so it is reasonable. It's in the reasonable range. Okay, let's look at the second one. So 128,563. This one is far more critical that we remember to line up from the ones. So the 5 of my second number here, my subtrahend, needs to go directly under the 3. The 90 needs to go directly under the 60. The 400 needs to go directly under the 500. My commas line up. The 8,000 goes directly under the 8,000. And the 50,000 goes directly under the 20,000. We don't line up at the largest, we line up at the ones every time. Now that we made sure we lined them up, we have more on the floor. Go next door, regroup 10 more. Because inside 60, I can take out 10 ones. Those 10 ones plus 3 ones is 13 ones. And now I have 50. 5 tens still. More on the floor, go next door, regroup 10 more. So here I have 500. Well, I could take away one of those hundreds, which is 10 tens, add it to the 5 tens I have now. 10 plus 5 is 15 tens. But since I took that 100 away, I only have 4 hundreds. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Here we have more on the floor, but really, if we look at it, we have 12. 12 take away 5. It's already regrouped for us if we look at them together like that. You can do that when it's in the teens. Now we're ready to subtract. 13 take away 5, or what plus 5 gets you to 13 is 8. 15 take away 9, or what plus 9 gets you to 15 is 6. Numbers the same, zeros the game. Bring the comma down. Numbers the same, zeros the game. And what plus 5 gets you to 12, or 12 take away 5 is 7. Remember, comma on the paper, not on the computer. Here we have 70,068. Let's look at our estimate. 70,000, I would say that is definitely pretty close. Our estimate is almost right on right there. It's only 68 off. So I definitely think this is in the reasonable range. All right, now it's time for your 3-column notes.